we have George P. Brooks. He's gonna come up here, do their thing. You ready, bro?
I'm ready.
He over here, smooth operator. So I need y'all to give George P. Brooks a round of applause. Let's go.
All right. How's everybody doing?
Good. Woo! Yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Ebony for this opportunity.
Yes.
She's an amazing young woman, has made all this happen, and is going to continue to bless a lot of people. I'm reading her book. I've heard her perform. She's brilliant, talented, and truly an inspiration. So let me start off by thanking her for this opportunity. Okay. Well, you know, we talk about mental illness a lot, and what I like to do and the way I like to come to people is just kind of speak off the cuff and honestly about topics and things. And on the way here, my son and I were having several deep conversations, if you call them that, but, you know, he also lives with bipolar disorder, and he's 17, and I live with bipolar disorder, PTSD, and DID. And in doing that, it's made raising him very, very interesting, because not only am I conscious of what he goes through, but I am going through those things as well. And so we spend a lot of time together and we bond. And one thing that we discuss as far as the stigma of mental illness, not just in the black community, but in every community, is the fact that we really don't know people with mental illnesses because we often only see their symptoms. We often only see their diagnosis. So we don't really get a chance to look in depth into a person and what they go through. And I feel like the more that we can convey that, the more we can show that, the greater opportunity there is for resource allocation, but a greater sense of understanding on an individual level, which we can carry back into our communities and address those living with mental health issues. Mental health issues can sometimes be situational. It can be based on an event in a life, the loss of a loved one, life, just anything. But there are instances where it's a biological issue. It may be a chemical imbalance. It's not just exacerbated by life. And living as a person living with several chronic illnesses, my mental health is just something else I have to manage. And what I want to do and what my endeavor is to try to give people a good idea of what it's like from the earliest point that I can remember on up to what I just did 5 minutes ago, because I feel like that's what my testimony is. That's all we have in our life is our testimony. It's upon us to share it. And we're going to share it regardless of whether we want to or not. If you're one of those people that don't want to tell all your business, it's going to come out, because you're going to share your testimony either through your example or what you propagate. So the way I'm handling it is I'm going to propagate the most positive thing that I can. So in time, my story will come out in different ways, because I want to handle what Ebony has given me an opportunity to do as an opportunity to enlighten people. I found that through the struggles I've gone through, that's what really made the difference. And I'm looking forward to sharing stories with each of you as I meet you and encounter you, because that's what benefits me. That's what keeps me going every day. But a little bit about myself. Let's talk about me and mental illness. 44 years old as of now. Moved here. Well, I'm actually in Baton Rouge speaking, but I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. Lived there 40 years, my first 40 years of life, all over. Very familiar with Memphis. Got great love for Memphis, but I am, and this is going to give way to a quick sidebar, but I'm aware of a lot of the problems and things that Memphis has to deal with, especially in terms of mental health, and I do want to go back and make a difference there. But let's talk about the causes of mental illness. A lot of times I've encountered people say, well, how does one get a mental illness? And in my experience, and I'm not speaking as a clinician, I'm just speaking as a man right now, it's genetic. It's situational. It's a matter of nature and nurture. You may have someone who has the physical characteristics or genetic traits of one that should be imbued with mental illness or something like that, but they don't. And it often can, it's just like diabetes. If you eat poorly, it's going to make it worse. If you have a mental illness, if you live poorly, if you consume negative media, if you surround yourself with negative people, negative environments, that's what you're going to get out of it. Your mental diet is key. We have people that will, basically be neurotic about what they put in their bodies, what they put in their car, but they'll sit up and see the most negative thing all day, And let's take this Will Smith stuff since it's topical. But, everybody's got a take on it. I got my own take. But, my thing is, it's being mean and everything, but what about that man that's going through it? I have my own opinion about what he did, but as a man that's been through it, I kind of can feel what he's going through. And let's make sure that even though we consume things, that we give out the right vibe. Because see, I'm not excusing what he did, but I can see I've been where he's at. And we have to understand celebrities are people too, But let's take that and let's break that down to how we deal with people on a personal level. Let's care more about the person we see every day. Let's care more about the person next to us, about our loved ones, about the people we see at the grocery store, about the people we encounter than a celebrity who does not care or know or give a damn that we exist.
Say one more time.
Thanks.
We talking about Will Smith and his issues and everything, and everybody psychoanalyzing, what we're going to do, uphold Will, uphold Chris. But they'll go to the grocery store and give somebody hell, and I think about that person mental health. Or they don't think about their own mental health. You get on social media and you get all riled up and you get all rah, and you realize you done sat in that thread for 4 or 5 hours. You checking, you posting. But are you doing anything productive? Are you doing anything to improve the situation? Man, eat junk food, eat your salad too. And we're not having that balance in society. It's too much into the doom and gloom. It's too much into that. And it's fine. Express yourself what you want, any way you want to. Do what you like. But be careful what you go around. The people that are your friends right now. That's who you are. And in dealing with a mental illness or not, because I'm trying to reach as many people as possible, I'm telling you, I've been there. I'm going to tell y'all on this journey. I was in that situation. You are who you're around. So if you're not happy in life, especially if you're going through something mentally, take time, step back, give people a chance. If you're an employer, like one thing I'm a believer of, we need to do something to where employers give mental health breaks, like they do PTO. Person just called in, give them 2 weeks a year, paid, just no judgment. I need a mental health day. Do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's becoming so prevalent now, because we're making ourselves sick. We're still drinking poison, expecting to get well. Mental health is not something that somehow we think, and this is my opinion, has increased or somehow manifested itself in the past few years. It's been going on for centuries. It's just called different things. And I'm so glad now that we are starting to have those discussions, not only in black communities, not only in poor communities, but in every community. Mental illness does not discriminate. It does not look like you think it does. It is not just the poor gentleman that is at the bus stop murmuring to himself. Sometimes it is the high-functioning executive or something that you don't know is going through hell. I've been there. I see it in people. And if we don't make a change, especially with the toxicity out in this world and all this garbage and trash, because I've been susceptible to it, I will not lie. I will never sit and tell you that I'm absolved or above anything. I'm no better than anybody else, but I'm no less than you either. So the thing is, we have to start getting to where, in terms of mental health, we have to take a sense of accountability. And I bring this up because I've just noticed the trend to so many people around me mired in negativity on social media. And I'm thinking, what is it doing to your mental health? Because see, when I talk to these people in real life after that, they're not talking about nothing positive. You go regurgitate what you take in. It's just like you reap what you sow. I'm seeing it in the business world. I came to Dallas addicted, broken, mentally, physically, just divorced. I came here with my 2 sons in my car and just what we could fit in our trunk. I keep saying here, I'm sorry y'all, I know we in Baton Rouge, but I'm always thinking that in my home, so excuse me for that. But I went to Dallas with just that and nothing. Just a couple dollars, you know, and even though I'm not where I want to be in certain regards, I'm looking at what I've been able to build on my own, because part of healing is having some sense of spirituality. Mm. If it ain't God, if you're an atheist, fine, you can still be a spiritual person. You can still be a right person. You don't have to ascribe to any dogma. It just has to have some values and be comfortable and know who you are. Mm. And if it's meant for you to follow the path of God, you'll end up on it. Don't let people force you. Find your own way. That's part of mental health. I could sit up here and talk for hours and days, because Lord knows I do. Those of y'all that know me in real life and know me at home, this is who I am. And I touched on a few subjects today, but this is the first of many, I hope. And I want to share so much of my story with y'all. And I'm available on social media. Anybody can contact me. But a couple of things I do want to touch on. At this point in my life, I've seen how mental health can affect our relationship with our women. And I posted something yesterday because I was going through some things, and when I finally got to Baton Rouge and got checked in, I thought about, you know what? We don't give our women enough credit. And not just black women, but we don't give women enough credit. Because I had some really good experience with some really strong, positive women yesterday that's helping me through some things. And I feel good about it. I'm like, man, I got known some amazing women. Women with it. Now, I'm going to say this too, and this might get me in trouble. In certain parts of my life, I went on my way to make sure not to mention, because there's a flip side to it. Now, we got to be real about this. If we're going to have these conversations, I'm gonna support good behavior. Man, this right, man, this great. But when it's wrong, I'm saying, because we got to have those conversations too to see any real progress. And I just felt like doing it, And I'm very grateful for this endeavor and this opportunity. I'm having fun. I'm looking forward to growing and seeing what we can do with it. And I want every word that I say to, if nothing else, go toward the ascent of black people, all people, every kind, every race. I know I say I'm for black folks, but that's where I see the immediate need. Mm-hmm. But I've helped everyone. I've got calls from the UK, from Eastern Europe. I don't know how these people find me. They like, I guess, but they like, I need help. And I just do it. And it's a struggle living with a mental illness, especially with the severity that I have. I'm blessed in the sense that I've been able to function, but Lord knows that has not come easily. You have to learn. Let me be real right quick, and I'll wrap up. I kind of made some notes. I was going to talk about my path with mental illness, and it's really so lengthy. I need to write a book, Lord. If I ever have time, I will. But one thing that I'm taking from these thoughts right now is that you really have to let people in. Mm-hmm. Because think about, when we think of people with mental illness, think how dismissive we can be toward them. They're just crazy chick, but we don't know what they go through. And the most terrifying thing to me is I've known people that are dealing with a mental illness and not aware of it. It's like I've talked to them and they're truly oblivious to it, but I'm aware of everything. I feel every stitch, every sting, every poke, and I'm trying to figure out which is worse. Would I rather not know what I'm dealing with, or would I rather know? And that goes for me and my physical health. My struggle is real. That's my testimony, and I'm gonna share it. But I don't know, I'm just at this spot right now. And trying to be positive and trying to be right doesn't mean it's always gonna be good. It's not about the world being filled with rainbows and lollipops and not having any issues, because your issues gonna come at you. Whether you got a mental illness, whether you have a physical disability, no matter what you're dealing with, we all got our own thing. Everybody got their own 9/11. It's just a matter of magnitude and perspective. But how do we deal with those situations? You can try to be positive, but how you really do that? Like I said, it's not like people think. It's not like living in delusion. But the best way to do it, and the way I do it, I take what God gives me, and I try to turn it on his head. Things is bad. Try to get something out of it. Preach to my children. Try to get something out of it. That's not just a coping thing. Whether you have a mental illness or not, that's a survival technique for life. Because if we don't do that, we gonna drown. I won't let myself drown because I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to lead people. And I appreciate everybody being patient with me and giving me latitude to do that. So I'm excited. Let's go out and spread some good word and do some things because what I will offer to people is my very best that I can do. I will do everything I can to help people. Like my son told me today, he said, "Dad, you give too much." I said, "No, not enough, son. As long as I got breath, I can still go. I want to do this. It's fun for me. I've been able to help people. I teach a recidivism course. One gentleman got a job right there. I got to teach that this week, so I got to kind of get back home. I do that. I don't get paid for it. It's not about that. But that feeling when that young man got that job on that spot, that was like the best high. And for a person that's been through addiction, the thing about going through addiction, you never get over seeking that high, that feeling. Just be a real talk. Hey, you never get over that behavior. That addictive behavior is there in all circles, but you got to turn to something that's going to be beneficial to somebody. See, I've been sober 4 years in March. I ain't thought about this. Yeah, I was self-medicating because of things going on, and we'll talk about all that. We're gonna be friends and stuff. It's gonna be fun. I don't have that inclination and never had because I dealt with what was making me go to it in the first place. I dealt with my pain. I dealt with my insecurities. I dealt with other folks in my life that had done me wrong. It took a long time, and thank God for my fiance, Stephanie Gaines, because that woman pulled me back from the brink. Showed me a way. She didn't do it for me. She was like, "Hey, you got this." She let me do it on my own. That's a real woman. That woman is amazing. Stephanie, that's my fiance. You got to have all these things in place. And what I hope I can do is if people reach out to me, I can help you get those things in place. I got experience, my testimony. So it's going to be a hell of a journey. I'm around some brilliant, beautiful people. Everybody I've encountered. Just great people. And I'm so optimistic, and I just want to thank y'all for letting me be a part of it. And let's go out there and try to change some lives and do some positivity. So I'm George Brooks, CEO of Metta Association. Thank y'all so much, and y'all stay blessed.
Smooth operator. I knew it. I was like, he's so smooth. You need to teach an ethics class or a college coach or something. Like if you was my coach back when I was wrestling in high school, like man, I'd have needed that. You win some, you lose some. But you fight for another day. Oh my God.